If you usually skip the review section when researching podcasts, you're probably wasting time in the long run, and I'll tell you why. Checking common themes in listener reviews can help you in 3 distinct ways. First, you can see what the audience loves about the show and their expectations so that you can live up to it. Second, it's a quick kind of red flag check. You know what negative things are listeners saying about the show, and is it worth your time? And third, it can give you the edge when it comes to something you can quote in your pitch. Don't worry, I'm going to give you real life examples so you can copy the exact same process when you're researching your own guesting opportunities. So the first thing you're going to want to do is head to Rephonic.com and get your free trial. And then go to the homepage like this and type in a keyword. Then you can apply as many filters as you want to find relevant shows. So let's go with 10% Happier with Dan Harris here. We're going to go ahead and head straight to the feedback tab right here across the top. And here's where you'll see all the ratings and reviews, as well as what people are saying section, which is what we need. Rephonic scans all of the reviews from listeners and highlights common themes here, whether they be positive or negative. So if we take a look at it, we see, the guests are saying stuff that the hosts make complex topics accessible and relatable, that they appreciate the humor, authenticity, insightful discussions, and that's great. And this really helps kind of reinforce and explain point 1, which is understanding and living up to listeners' expectations. If I were to pitch this show and get booked, these common review themes tell me that adding a bit of humor to my stories will probably land well with listeners because they're expecting that. So I should maybe prepare some funny anecdotes and practical tips to share. Now for the red flag check, right? So let's go to another show here, a tab that I have open. So we'll go to feedback. It says very specifically that some reviews highlight the quality of content, but express concerns about audio quality during certain episodes. And in this case, I would maybe go back and listen to a few recent episodes and just gauge how much of a problem it is. If it really detracts from the listening experience, I would maybe forget trying to book the show and move on. Let's go to a different one. So on the Relationship Coaching School podcast, it says there are mixed feelings about the content being promotional at times, with some finding it kind of overly self-promotional, which you'll see here. Again, it's worth listening to a few episodes and listening specifically for this to see if it's something that you're happy to work with or not. Then onto the third way reviews can help, by giving you something to mention in your pitch. Let's open up another podcast page here. So on the Performance Nutrition podcast, some feedback suggests a desire for more practical strategies that can be applied by everyday athletes. So in your pitch, you could say that you've noticed that some listeners are asking for more practical strategies that everyday athletes can use right now, and that you've helped 300 plus amateur runners shave an average of 4 minutes off their 10K with a 3-step fueling plan. You literally say, your audience is asking for this, I have the answers. All right, let's look at one more. Let's go to Entrepreneurs on Fire, feedback. So here on this page under feedback, it says some feedback highlights a desire for more depth, right? More depth on the challenges of entrepreneurship. So you could pitch a near failure story and the lesson that saved the company. That's exactly the gap listeners flagged. So if you're looking for other interview angles that you could pitch to podcasts, check out this video to find out where your competitors have guested on podcasts. Not only can you see which podcasts they've appeared on, but you can also see what they're saying. So you can add to the conversation or provide an alternative perspective. Catch you next time.